Hello, welcome to Cerulean Arts Gallery. Today we are joined by Kassem Amoudi, and he's going to speak about his work on view in the current Cerulean Arts Collective Exhibition, up now through November 5th, 2023. Hello, Kassem.
Hello, how are you doing?
How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Sure. Let me spotlight Tina's video here. So tell us about yourself and about the show.
Okay, Kassem Amoudi, of course. Like I doubt it's me sometime. Yeah, I'm like Palestinian, Jordanian, American. I believe in really that I am universal. Like I don't belong anywhere really, but I belong everywhere at the same time. Same like what Rumi said, like my place is placeless, trace of the traceless, like it's a beautiful, like when he says like I'm not a Muslim, I'm not Christian, I'm not a Jew, like it's a beautiful poem. So really like I believe we all really one people, on this planet, very tiny, small planet. You even cannot see it from out there, in the sky, like, and we all fighting and killing each other, really, like that's really not good.
So
So
is Rumi
yes,
a poet?
yeah, Rumi's poem, yeah. Jalaluddin Rumi is really great, like with these things, and I painted actually a painting, inspired by Rumi actually too, by what he says too, like about it's called the Song of the Reed, which is really beautiful. Like they cut the reed, from the bed reed. They cut
Yes,
the reed and make the flute. So
right.
that flute coming from the reed, like when people, it's always sad. So he said that it is sad because it was cut from where it belongs, with the other reeds, and stuff
Ah,
like that. It's beautiful poetry, beautiful.
hmm.
Okay. So I'm here really like graduated from Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts with master degree. And before this, like in Egypt, I did study art too. Uh, you want something? Yeah, my daughter. So like I teach at the academy now too, and in different places from Woodman Art Museum, Main Art Center, Perkins Center for the Arts, and painting, of course, like at the same time, trying to take care of all of these things. Uh, my work really is like, I can say it's in between the two worlds. That's why I sometimes say I'm like walking on the fine line between these two worlds, the form and the formless. I'm an abstractionist. I do abstraction, but it does have reference sometimes, this abstraction, sometimes, because not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't actually. But I do like things like, call them windows and doors. Uh, White with a Past, On the Way Home. These are different series. I keep working on them actually. It's not like I finish, that's it. No, I will work on it maybe after 10 years. I will do like On the Way Home too, again and again, or like Windows and Doors. I will do all these things, like. So this is where I am. Of course, like one of the things that helped me a lot understanding art, beside the master program, it was the Barnes Foundation. I studied at the Barnes Foundation 2 years really with the collection of these like great masters like Matisse, Miro, whatever, Picasso. They have all of these beautiful works. So I did study really, and I learned a lot really at the Barnes Foundation about painting, more maybe than my entire life, I would say.
Hmm.
And I had actually a great advisor, instructor like who did that, which Fred Osborne, he was the dean of the school. He was really a great. So I really learned from him a lot, really. And of course, like he was spiritual too, like spiritual motivator, and he didn't paint, he did sculpture. But I learned painting really from him, even he didn't paint, because so he was really great. And then I, of course, like the real learning, it doesn't come really from here or here. It is the real learning is the doing. I can go to the Barnes Foundation for 100 years or to get masters or that, but like really the doing. When you do the thing, then you really learn it. It's like if you read all the books in the world about honey. Oh, you think you know honey because, oh, I read 1,000 books about honey. Actually, if somebody gives you a jar of honey until you put your finger in it and lick it, that that first-hand experience with honey is better than all these books. Oh, now I know honey. So the actual thing is really in doing, and struggling. I did struggle a lot really to arrive where I am now, with this kind like of abstraction. Uh, Before, like if I couldn't really do abstraction, I failed and failed because like every time because before that I did the figure. Like I always have a figure or every painting of mine before had a figure. I
Well,
love
this,
figures.
I mean, you've had several shows with us over the years, and the one series was like the shadow figures. And
Yes.
so it has appeared there in your work.
Yes, actually, like back in 2006, I did the Shadows series, Shadows.
Yes.
It was really a bad period in my life. And where I came from too, really, they've been like in wars like forever, like maybe 70 years, and of course, like, I feel really like with them, like the people who die, the people in prison, the people who get like bombed their houses, their whatever. It's this been going on really for a long time. It's not really now. The war didn't just start now. It's been a long time, with some
So
very significant.
does that influence the work you're doing today?
Yes, it part of it is really is that actually, like in the background was all these massacres that happens in there, whether it's in the West Bank or in Gaza, like yeah, a lot of things really happen, that really make your heart bleeds. And so like these are always in the background, like in me because I lived through that, I lived through that. And I really like whether a Jewish guy or a Muslim or a Christian, it doesn't matter really. I am against war completely. I don't believe there is a right and wrong and stuff like that, and we have to massacre other people in order to live. I think that shouldn't be really like our first option. We always really, we are brothers. Actually, the Jews and the Muslims are really cousins. Like we came from Abraham. One from Ishaq, one from Ishmael, like, and so we are really brothers, and we should live in with each other good. And uh, I think like the Palestinian state, two-state solution is very good, but it's been really on the shelves, for a long, long time since Oslo, and nobody really doing anything about it. So yeah, with the shadows,
How do you channel this into your painting?
it's not really I force it. It comes through. Like when I do like oh, suddenly I love black. You see like all my work now is not really black. It's kind
Right.
of like colors and stuff like that, prismatic. But there was a period where I really was very sad, like and had some like problems too, like in addition to what's going on, some personal problems, stuff like that. So this really affected it, and I started painting with black, really, like I just like fall in love with black suddenly, like I did a painting and it was really, I didn't want to do a figure actually. Like I was doing like same like windows and doors, stuff like that. So, but like I really didn't want to do that. at the time, So I painted black on top of it, like I wanted really to do black, like it was like somebody was hitting me, do black, So I did, and then I discovered really the first painting, I discovered, oh, there is a figure there. Oh, I try to make it, then I actualize it. It became a figure, and then it became a series really of these shadow series. I did 9 paintings of them, and I really love them, But like, yeah, that black, it was a period in my life. This is why I say art and life go together. Where you are in
So
life,
how,
it
so then
is.
how do you gauge today's colors that you're working with? Because there's not much black in these.
Yeah, actually, there is black in the background. When I start my painting, it's really black and white. I do black and white, like the painting behind here, like we're looking at. That black and gray. That's really what's under the whole painting, actually. So I draw, I make things. Thick and thin blacks, where it's sometimes transparent, sometimes it's thick, like I love like to work like this. And actually, I discovered that even Matthias did really black and white under the colors,
So is that
and
how
you see,
is that how you start these, with black and white?
yes, everything. Like when you look at this one in particular, that black here, these black lines, where they're coming from. You can see them under that too, so yeah, there is black and white under
Hmm.
all of this.
So
And then
when you approach a painting, do you plan it out? Do you have drawings, or do you just approach the blank canvas?
yeah, actually, I don't have any idea what I will be doing. I do not plan. As they say, like the best composition is the composition you discover. So you discover the painting actually while you're doing this, because in the beginning, when I do these initial things, it's really not the painting. It's like I'm building a base. Like I want to do a house. Before you do the house, the wall stuff, you do a base, so that's a base which carries on top of it whatever I want to do with colors and stuff like that. So I think each one of these paintings, there is a black and white under it. But the black and white not necessarily go with what you see here. It's totally different, like just like when you are on the phone and doodling, like you're doing things like it's like that. But I do it with brushes and colors.
So there seems to be a sense of space in these paintings, like they could be interiors. I mean, in some cases, it's more apparent than others, like windows and doors and scenes.
Yes, it is really like my work is really like about space. Like that's the most important issue. Of course, like color is important, line, all of these are good really, but it is really space, which really this is why I was struggling at PAFA studying the master 2 years, and I wanted to do abstraction. I didn't know how. I always like failed and went back to put a figure, because I know how to do that, and actually, like nobody told me about space. I didn't know about that really. Like I'm in the master program, but I do not appreciate that, and I do not know it, But when I studied the Barnes Foundation, really, I started to see that, and think of space. Like, there is no depth because, like, abstract artists said, like, why should we lie to people and pretend that the canvas is three-dimensional and there is something far and there is something very far and very far? Why do we have to do that? It's two-dimensional quality we should respect, So you see, like, the farthest thing in the painting is really the canvas itself, and everything is popping on top of that canvas, And I say, really, if you really do not understand this, you cannot do abstract art, uh,
Well, it seems
I mean,
like
you can do in between, but not really like abstract. It's everything is popping at you.
yeah,
Like
I
when
mean, it
Leeuwenhoek
seems.
did the sky. Oh, the
Mhm.
sky is the same like the figure. Everything is popping at you. It's not far. There is no far sky.
Although it does seem like you're playing with it some. I mean, there's you're very aware of the surface but some colors recede and some colors advance. So space is created that way.
Yes, like even like a line like this, like a thin line, that thin line actually it's revealing parts of the background. Sometimes my lines really, even though you look at it as a line, actually it's the background. Like with this painting behind you, these small lines, like that appears, disappears, like white, black. This is really from the background. But I do, of course, like do on top too, So there are lines that peek from under, and there are lines on top.
So what do you hope the viewer, what are you trying to communicate to the viewer here when they stand in front of your work?
With space and colors. Like this is really like space by itself. Really is a very beautiful subject, really. And because, like with space, you're not just composing right and left and up and down in the canvas, you're composing the space. What's on top, what's behind it, what's behind that too, and how it's in the other side, it comes back, and it pops at you, like so composing the composition is not just right and left and up and down. It is really composing the space too, what pops, what recedes, And this is what Hans Hofmann all the time was trying to do and to tell people about the push and pull, It's all about space.
You mentioned Hans Hofmann, yes?
I love Hans Hofmann. Yeah, I love Hans Hofmann. He's great, really. And I did learn a lot from him too, like about space and things like that. This, like when you see this, you see like there is a space, but it's not really depth. There is a difference between space and depth. And of course, like the spontaneous, sometimes like I do spontaneous things, whether it's under the painting before or after the painting too. I do like some work like that, And I usually like believe in do now and think later. So I do not think much of what I'm doing really. Like it, I feel it's done through me. I do use my brain once in a while, but like I follow more my intuition. When I have an intuition, I do it regardless, Like I had actually a painting at the State Museum of Pennsylvania, actually in Harrisburg, on 48 by 48. And after I brought it back, I really worked on it. I changed it. I changed a lot of it. And it became even better. And I sold it. Like so, like uh, this takes me to the painting is really never done, as Gorky says. Like our child Gorky, like. If the painting is finished, this means it's dead. I just decide to stop working on it for a while, and really this is what I do, if it's good, I will stop working on it, that's it, I may show it and it's good, I may sell it, but like I may work on it again too, it's never finished for me unless it's sold, really. If somebody buys it, then it's finished.
Right. So as long as you have them around, you might keep working on them.
Yeah, if there is something like I get an intuitive thing, like about it, like I will do that. I will work. And of course, this is like taking risk, like actually, like if you do not take risk, you cannot succeed. Actually, risk you can fail and you can succeed, but mostly 90% it will succeed when you take risk. If you do not take risk, you stay in your place all your life. You stay there. You cannot go farther. So even taking risk, sometimes the painting goes down, but sometimes actually when it goes down, it ends up to be the best painting you've done. It goes back up like a ball. You hit the ball to the ground and it bounces back. The harder it hits the ground, the higher it goes up, like I think in painting it is like this too. So I don't have a bad painting. I don't have anything like I say, even if it's not working, I know it will work, like if it's not today, it's tomorrow, it's going to be resolved
Right.
and work.
Right. You just have to keep at it.
Yep. The people, when the painting doesn't work, and say people say like, oh, I hate it, I don't like it. It's they didn't go far enough with it. They stopped. So
Right.
that's like failure. But if you really keep going, I think you can resolve any painting and make it better and better. Doesn't matter how many times even it goes down, it will go back up. You will discover new possibilities actually with that. And this reminds me of something actually you told me one time, like where accidents are opportunities. Actually, I
Right.
do use it and tell my students about it. Accidents are opportunity when something happen and like, oh God, like you don't have to get mad. Look at it like with a different eye. Maybe it's good.
Right.
Even if it's not, you can build on top of it, do things.
Right, yeah, and it gets you out of your habits, like something unexpected. So it forces you
Definitely.
to pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Kassem. This was great.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate and appreciate Tina taking these beautiful shots too. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.